Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the English with Gemma podcast. I'm Gemma, and I need your help because I just can't figure out what type of intro I want to do. Maybe if you guys could comment below and give me some suggestions because at the beginning I was saying, what was I saying? Oh, I was like, "Hi, it's Gemma, and I'm so happy that you're here," which I just feel like that sounds weird. I am happy that you're here, and I'm always so grateful that, you could be doing anything with your time and you choose to listen to my podcast, which means the world to me. But I don't know. This is only my fourth episode, and I'm still figuring out how I want my intro to sound. Also, I apologize. Like today, I don't know, man. Today's been a weird, exhausting day. So if you're watching the video, you can see that my background is different. My camera setup is different. I don't like this background, but I was filming some other videos with it and I didn't feel like moving my microphone and the camera and everything. So here I am. I want to make sure, what time is it? I can't see because of the ring light. Okay, I want to make sure that this is a short episode. And by short, I mean like 20 minutes. Because today is one of my random days. I'm just going to talk. And hopefully along the way, you'll learn some cool vocab and phrases and things like that. Um, so I do have some topics written down. Before I get into the topics, I just want also to apologize for how I look because I don't know. Like I said, today has been exhausting and I don't know if I'm like too far from the camera, too close to the camera. I have picked like all my nail polish off of my nails because I've done that since I was a little girl, actually. I think it's like an anxiety thing and I can't help it. I do it subconsciously. Um, it's really annoying because I always want my nails to look nice and I make an effort to paint them and then I just pick all the nail polish off. So, what I'm trying to say is I apologize because I know that this is going to be a chaotic episode, but you're here for natural English, and natural English is what you're gonna get. So, the first topic, actually, I'll tell you all my topics that I've written down. It goes like this: rest and tiredness. That's the first topic, which is fitting because today I'm exhausted and I'm kind of a mess. Second topic is birthdays, because my birthday's coming up on April 18th. Third topic is driving test and driving lessons. And the fourth topic is seasonal depression. I don't know why I wrote that. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so we'll just get into it and see where that takes us. And like I said, I'm going to try to keep this around the 20-minute mark for you guys. So, yeah, the first thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was I've just been so exhausted lately and I've been feeling really worn out, which means tired. There we go. There's our first phrasal verb of the episode. Even if I am rambling, you're still learning English, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I've been talking to a lot of people recently, and I know a lot of us are feeling really tired. Um, and I read this interesting statistic. I can't remember the exact statistic, but it was something about how women need a lot more sleep than men. And because, up until now, all the research has been done, all the medical research has been done on mostly white men, like in their 40s. And they're just now, by they, I mean like scientists and researchers, they're just now starting to research women's health, which I just think it just blows my mind. I think it's incredible that, you know, women, we have so our bodies are so complex. And because we have hormones and everything, I mean, obviously men have hormones too, but you know what I mean, because of our periods and our cycles, our monthly cycles, we need more rest. We actually need like 10 hours of sleep. And that was like mind blowing to me because I always feel so exhausted because I probably only get about like 7 to 8 hours of sleep. 8 is like a really good night, 7 is like a good night, and then like 6 is like a bad night. I didn't sleep well. And when I'm going, sometimes I go through periods of insomnia, which means not being able to sleep. When I go through periods of insomnia, I'm lucky if I get like 4 hours of sleep. And my sleep quality, like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, I'm so tired. My sleep quality differs so much, like depending on where I am in my cycle. So yeah, I don't know. It's just really interesting, like how women were being ignored in medical research, and now I feel like we're finally being listened to and looked into. So that's great. So if you're a woman and you're tired, maybe sleep more because apparently we need 10 hours. So make sure you're getting enough rest. If you're a man, also make sure you're getting enough rest, but you don't need as much as us girls. So yeah, I thought that was super interesting. Um, and it's something that I'm going to keep in mind. I really need to work on my sleep schedule and making sure I have like a um regular sleep schedule and I'm going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time because I'm a night owl. I love staying up late. And then, but I'm also kind of an early bird because when I wake up, I'm not in a bad mood and I don't need coffee. Like I know some people that they wake up and they're like, "Ah," you know, and they're super grumpy. I'm not like that, but anyway, so that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. The other thing is like the idea of like birthdays. I've never been like a super big everyone like kind of likes their birthday, obviously, but I've never been like super into my birthday or doing stuff for my birthday. But in the last like 2 to 3 years, I've had really good birthdays. Like they've been really relaxed. My friends from like different places in the world have sent me like flowers or just like cakes and little things like that. And yeah, I was thinking about it the other day, and for the last 2 to 3 years, I've had really good, really enjoyable birthdays. And I'm really excited for my birthday this year because I am normally not at home in Bermuda with my family and stuff. So this year I am, and I'm really looking forward to that. And that's basically all I wanted to say about birthdays. And I also wanted to ask you guys a question. What do you normally do for your birthday? Do you celebrate your birthday? Because I know some religions and cultures don't celebrate birthdays or celebrate them in a very different way. So yeah, let me know if there are any special like birthday traditions from your culture, your country, or maybe just your family. And what are you doing this year for your birthday? And also, when is your birthday? So let me know in the comments, especially if you're watching on YouTube. I am always in the comments. I try to reply to every single comment that I get. So if you write me a comment, I will definitely reply. And yeah, so another thing that's my third topic is driving. Ugh. So yeah, basically I am 27. Well, not yet. I'm 27. I'll be turning 27 April 18th. And I don't have my driving license yet because I've always lived kind of away from Bermuda, and I've never really lived at home for like a long enough time where it makes sense to get driving lessons and pass my driving test. So, yeah, I'm learning how to drive as an adult, which is interesting. I already passed my written test. I need to have a few more lessons, driving lessons, and then I'm going to try and pass my my practical test, and that gives me so much anxiety, like you can't even imagine. Like that makes me so nervous. That's probably why I'm picking all my nail polish off. But yeah, I wanted to know what the process is in your wherever you live or in your home country because like here in Bermuda, I think it's similar to the United States. Basically, you have to get your learner's permit first, which means like you take this written test. In Bermuda, it's a computerized test. It's on the computer. So I did that. You get like a little like driving license that says learner's permit. And then with that, you can literally drive a car as long as someone who has their license is like sitting next to you in the passenger seat. And you have to put these L symbols on your car, L for learner, on the front and on the back, like a little card, a white card with a red L in the middle so people know that you're learning. And then you can just drive around like that until you feel ready to take your practical test. And then you take a practical driving test where they obviously take you out on the road and stuff like that. And then if you pass that, you get your real license. And I know it's a different, like, it's a different process and in every country. So I'm just interested to know like how difficult or easy is it to get your driver's license in your country? Also, I was really surprised when I did my writing test, there were only 26 questions and you were allowed to get four wrong, which I think is pretty lenient, pretty easy. I was like nervous for that too, but I passed it no problem because I'm a nerd and I studied. I mean, you need to study because it's not just common sense. There are like specific rules and road symbols and signs. And if you've never driven before, like it's not common sense. It's something that you definitely have to study and memorize. So I'm really glad that I did that and that I passed my first time. So yeah, I'm just let me know how what's the situation with getting your driver's license in your country. And then, yeah, my final topic, it was apparently seasonal depression, which like is so funny. Well, it's not funny. It's something I've struggled with like my whole life. So I lived in the UK for 8 years, and when I lived there, I was like depressed the whole time. And it wasn't until I moved in 2018, I moved to Spain. And I was like, oh, I'm not a depressed person. It was just the weather. Like, I didn't realize how much the weather can affect your mood. And yeah, like obviously England is very rainy and gray, and then Spain is so sunny and warm, like pretty much year round. Well, that's a lie, actually. Madrid, where I was living for 5 years, gets very cold, freezing in the winter, actually. So that's a lie. But, in general, Spanish weather is better than British weather, right? So yeah, I just now, and especially now that it's getting into the spring months here in Bermuda, I'm feeling so much better. I love that it stays light for longer, like the end of the day. The days feel so much longer. You feel like you have more time to do stuff, or at least I feel like that. And yeah, seasonal depression is a very serious, like very real thing that I definitely struggle with because oh my God, during the winter months, like don't even talk to me. I feel horrible. I'm like super down. I have like low energy. All I want to do is sleep. When the weather's dark and rainy, I'm like, ugh, it's gonna be a bad day. And like I try to stay positive, and I think I'm a positive person in general, but man, the weather like really affects me. And I know like a lot of people can relate to this, but also a lot of you are probably like, what? Like, who cares about the weather? But no, it's a real thing. It's literally called SADS, SADS, seasonal affective disorder. Oh, maybe it's just called SAD without the S on the end. Seasonal affective disorder. Yeah, which basically means the seasons affect your mood. And I think it has something to do with like the circadian rhythms, like, when it's bright outside, your body stops producing melatonin and it wakes you up. The light literally gives you energy. And then when it gets darker, our bodies start producing melatonin so that, we can sleep better. So I think if you don't have enough light, you start to feel depressed and lethargic. La 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 la, lethargic. Because which means like sleepy, low energy because you don't literally have enough like sunlight to wake you up. I don't know. I'm not a scientist and I might have just made all of that up, but I definitely know that circadian rhythms are a thing and also that melatonin is a thing. And another thing that affects your circadian rhythms is blue light from your phone. So like screens emit, they produce blue light, which when our eyes like receive that blue light, that keeps us awake as well, because that has something to do with melatonin production too. I think, don't quote me on that, but yeah, definitely that's why they always say like don't go on your phone 2 hours before bedtime and even like TV, computer, phone. I think like Kindles are okay, like ebooks and stuff, because they have a type of light which is not blue light, I guess. So, yeah, I think Kindles and e-readers are fine before bed, but like screens before bed is supposed to be bad because then you can't sleep, you can't fall asleep as easily. I always try to turn on my yellow filter on my phone. I don't know what that's called. Night shift, or night mode on your phone. If you have an iPhone and you go into settings, you can do that. And you can also set it so that it turns on like at the same time every night. So that's good because what that does is it takes your screen from this like blue, very blue light to a more yellow light. And it's definitely a lot less harsh for your eyes. So that's my tips. Those are my tips on how to beat seasonal depression. Don't say I never, gave you anything. I'm full of advice that may or may not be accurate. I say it with a lot of confidence, so people are like, wow, you know stuff and you have good advice. I'm like, no, I just say things and hope that it's right. And I read a lot of books. And then I think that I retain the information pretty well, but I also feel like I have a bad memory sometimes. So don't take anything I say at face value, which means don't trust anything I say, which you can also express that in English by saying, take everything I say with a pinch of salt, which is an idiom that means take what I say with a little bit of skepticism. So don't trust me 100%. Don't trust anybody 100%. And with that, that concludes today's episode. Don't trust anybody. That's the key takeaway. Just kidding. Not really, though. Okay, guys, I love you. Please help me with my intro because I don't know what to say at the beginning of these episodes or at the end. Maybe I'm just going to start saying I love you at the end. That feels intimate and kind of fun. I love you. Bye. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening and watching. I'm on Spotify, I'm on YouTube. I'm looking into getting onto Apple. I don't know how that works, so I'm going to look into that. All right, until next week, happy learning. Bye.